Hello there, Martin Harper from GMD Online. We are busy here in the studio today, so there could be a little bit of background noise as I try to explain to you the example of core combat for the Pegasus engine. So without any further ado, let's dive straight in, show you some of the examples. I'm going to do a bit of basic combat, and we may have some advanced rules. I will explain when I am using advanced rules. However, in this scene, we can see at the bottom of the combat map that we got two tokens there. One for Rastan, this one here, and this one here is Carla, his psychic. Although I have created her as a proper character, just so we've got a couple of characters here. And then we got three goons spreading across the top of the map there. So with the Pegasus engine, the core rules for combat, the goons only have one hit point, so if they manage to hit them and the goons fail their damage resistance rolls, they're off the table, they're killed. Bang, defeated. However, heroes, henchmen and villains are a bit more robust. So let's get diving into it. Now I'm going to do all the dice rolls for all the characters, so it's going to take a little while for me to set up some of the characters. So if I grab some dice, bring them onto the table, so I've got them. We've got 1, 2, 3 and 3d6 for them here. Bringing our card over to show you. You can see here that he's got d6 MR. So we roll their initiative, which is their MR. Oh, I've got 4 dice. Hang on, let's delete one and re-roll. Please. There we go. Pick them up. So we've rolled their MR. MR is made up of agility and strength, and it is minus by your physique. And that gives you your MR. Okay. So I just put the dice next to them. However you do, you might note them on a piece of paper, whatever. And you're starting the highest initiative order down. And we can have a look over here, the way I've set the table up here. I haven't got a proper character sheet. I wanted something quick and easy to use in Tabletop Simulator, which I'm using to demo this. So we've got our character card here for Rastan. Energy points at the top. His perks to the right. Below him, we've got Carla. The same with the perks and energy cards underneath. So we can see that they've both also got D6 in their MR as well. So we just bring the map on there. Let me have a look on this map here so I can see what's going on. Okay, so 1, 2. So Rastan, oh, he's on a 2. And Carla is on a 4. Okay, so starting off with this Larson. So the Larsons have managed to sneak through the woods upon they've set up a trap for Carla and Rastan, who have been looking to see what's happened with their wagon of grain that was coming to their village. And they've come across their people that have been massacred. It's the Larsons trying to capture the escaped slaves from their polis. So this Larson here comes screaming out of the woods. He goes first. First thing you do is you recover any energy, turn your perks round and recover any stun. However, it's first round of battle. We don't have any of that. So we move his dice and he's going to move. So I'm going to say that they're starting about medium range. That's close range. So the first thing he does is he charges towards Rastan, trying to engage him here. Comes into the front arc. We're not going to worry about combat arcs. That is an advanced roll. If you get into the side arcs, you gain bonus die. Opponent's hindrance dice, and the same with rear. But don't worry about it. It's in the front arc anyway. So he comes forward and he is going to attack Rastan. However, Rastan's not gone yet, so he doesn't have his preemptive strike. Rastan's caught by surprise, and the Larson makes his attack roll. So we bring the Larson over. We see he's got no specializations because he's a goon. So he just rolls his combat, which is a D8 plus 1. Just so we can show it. I can see it. Just so you can see there. D8 plus 1 for his combat. He's human, and he's got plus 1 in there. So he rolls his D8. It's a 7 plus 1 is an 8. Now Rastan, we have a look on here. Rastan is a player, so he gets a bit more dice to use. Can't use any of his perks yet. Not had a go to activate them. Must activate them. Looking down here, what's his defense? He's got a dodge D6 for defense, and his defense is also a D6. So he rolls his dice pool. Now, dice pools, if you've read anything on the dice pools, made out of 5 categories: statistic dice, specialization dice, bonus dice, opponent's hindrance dice, and then any other dice for equipment. And then they stack in those categories. So you'll see that all happen in this here. So he's got a D6 for his combat. He's also got a D6 for his specialization. Doesn't have any bonus dice yet because nothing's happened. The opponent's got no hindrance on him yet. Oh, yes, he will. He's come running in, this Larson. Unfortunately, old Carla here is a agitator. If we look there, agitators provide a hindrance dice to all target enemies that come within close range. So he's coming to close range. He is going to have a level 1 hindrance on him. So let me just shrink these down and use these as tokens. Oh, how do I do that? There we go. Yeah, so I know that Larson's now got a hindrance on him. Now, because he's got a hindrance on him due to Carla screaming and shouting at him from the right here, that puts a level 1 hindrance dice in the dice pool for Rastan to use. So he's now got 3 dice against the Larson's 1. Although that 1 dice, 7 plus 1, 8, is really good. And Rastan doesn't have any bonuses for his defense. So he rolls the dice. And what we got? Oh, look at that, we've got 6. And I don't know what that is. That's a 3. So we get rid of these dice. In a dice pool, this is great. We get to show you a multiple rules here. In a dice pool in Pegasus Engine, you always roll the whole dice pool and you discard everything that's not the highest dice. So these, we're not interested. We've got this 6. However, the 6 is the highest face of a D6. So we roll again and add it to itself. Plus 1, 7. Nice try, but the Larson's got a plus 1, which means the Larson is successful against Rastan's defense. So he's hit. So now the Larson makes a damage roll. The Larson is armed with a sword. Let's get back over here. So we know from the book that these page numbers ignore because that's for the core RPG, not for the Pegasus Engine. So the updated pages will be different. So we got a D8 for sword. We know that from our book. So we put the D8 there. And that is other dice. However, we always need a stat dice. And with physical combat damage, it's strength based. So he's got a D6. So our Larson gets D6. He's got no specialization dice. He's got no bonus yet. And he's got no hindrance on Rastan yet. However, he does get another dice for his sword of a D8. So he rolls his dice pool. Now, you do this at the same time, the player and the GM. Right, I've got a double 1. All that means is Rastan's got a chance of gaining momentum. So I'll just discard one of these. I don't need it. Rastan's card. Let's build his dice pool. So Rastan is going to make a damage resistance. So it's physique, which is, look, he's got a plus 1 in that. That's handy. D8 plus as his stat dice. He does, however, have endurance, which allows him to have a specialization dice in his damage resistance, which is a D6. He doesn't have any bonus dice. He hasn't got any. Oh, he's got a enemy hindrance dice of that agitator hindrance of D4. So that plops over here. So he's got no bonus dice. We've got a D4. Other dice. Well, he is wearing armor. So he's got leather armor. And in the book, leather armor is a D6. So gain another D6. There. 4 dice against that 1. Doesn't look good for the Larson's damage roll. We've got a 4 on D4. We roll that again. 4 again. 8. 9. Nearly. So we move these out of the way. We don't need them. So it's 9v1. He succeeds. So the Larson does a glancing blow as the blade comes down, smashes into Rastan. No extra damage. However, Rastan does take a stun level. So we put that over on his card here. Shall I put it? I'm going to put it down here. Let's just shrink these so we can keep them on the table. But you put that card over there to show that he's got some hindrance on it. I'm going to put the cards on here so we can see who's got it. Okay, next up is Carla. Now, Carla knows that Razdan can handle these on his own, but sees these two over there. She's going to make a soft act. Well, first of all, energy, perks, and stun. She hasn't got any of that. It's the first round. So she's going to leap up onto here as her first soft action, a move action. Turn as well. She goes to the front of the cart to get higher ground on these and screaming and shouting at them. So they're still, I would say, medium range away. So she's only moved close range. And we are going to look at what perks we're going to activate. I think we're going to activate quick thinking. So we turn it 90 degrees to show that it's activated. And quick thinking, gain a mind level as a bonus dice to your next action. So let's bring that into the center so you can see this. So it's gain mind level. And her mind is D6. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put D6 on that card. The reason I put it on it's on the next action. So the next time she makes a dice roll, she gains a D6. And I've put it on that card to show, so when the dice is removed and it's no longer there, we've used it. Just as a reminder. So brilliant. So she's done there. That's her action. Next is going to be either this Larson or Razdan, whoever's got the highest agility. Right, the Larson's got a D6 plus 1. Razdan's got a D6. So the Larson goes first. He's quicker because of that plus 1. So we remove the D6. And this Larson is going to race, again, 2 soft actions to race up and to attack Carla. Can't make an attack roll because you can only in your turn make 2 actions, either a soft action and a hard action, 2 soft actions, or a full action. Full actions tend to be advanced rules like charging and that. He could have charged there, but we'll leave that for later. Let's just show you the quick, basic combat rounds. So he's used 2 actions to race in to Carla. In a normal game, I would have probably charged as a GM. Next, it'll be Razdan. So Razdan is going to activate as his first action. Oh, first of all, recover any perks, which he hasn't got. Recover any energy, which he hasn't used. He is going to recover 1 stun. So we take the stun and we move off the board. So he covers 1 level. Now, this Larson gains a hindrance because he's come into close range of Carla. So up to the player to remember to put these hindrance cards down on the enemy. There are spaces at the bottom of the character sheets if you want to use the character sheets to note this instead. However, for the tutorial, I want to show you so you can see on here rather than typing out on a character sheet. So Razdan, his first action, let's bring this into here, is he's going to activate counterattack because counterattack allows him to make a free attack roll against anyone who attacks him and he is successful in defense. Although he's not been successful, the Larson did have a rather good roll. And then he's going to make, that's a soft action. And in the book, there's a list of soft actions and hard actions. Weapon attacks, powers, etc. tend to be hard, while soft actions are specialization use, movement, perks, activating your perks, and doing things like that. So he takes away his initiative to show he's on his go. So he's going to use his hard action because he's used a perk. Oh, press the wrong button there, so it goes. He's going to also turn. You get a free turn with every action that you do. So he's going to turn to face. And then he's going to make his hard attack again with his axe. He's not activated his 2-handed fighting yet, so he can't gain all the bonus dice of all his 2 weapons. at this stage. So at the moment, he swings round, preparing his other acts for counter-attack. So he makes an attack roll. So we look over at Rastan, and we've got a combat of D10 plus 1. So it's his stat dice. So he gains D10 for the stat. Next, he gains a D10 for his one-handed edged specialization. So specialization dice is not also D10. He's got no bonus dice. He does get the D4. So we'll say that Larson's only just in close range of Carla. You could use a grid and say, oh, for every 5 squares, that is the range brackets or something like that. Or you could use feet and say, oh, within 25 feet, that sort of thing. But we're saying that's close range. The edge of the map is medium range. It's got no bonus dice and it's got no other dice for the attack. Weapons tend to give bonus dice to damage. If it was a magical weapon, say it was like a level 1 magic weapon, then it would gain a D4 to the attack. Unless it was to damage, then it gave level 1 D4 bonus dice to damage. So he rolls his attack roll. And we discard all the dice that we're not interested in. So this 4 to start with. This 4, however, is rolled its max. There we are. So 7, still less than 10. Which, this is going to be horrible. 19 we've got for Rastan's attack. I think it's going to be a dead goon. And we look on our Larson. He's got D6 plus 1 for defense. So he rolls D6 plus 1. He's got no extra dice here. 6. Oh, look at that. 11 plus 1, 12. The Larson skillfully ducks under the way of the attack. Unlucky Rastan. Next, this Larson's last Larson to go. So he's going to go, say, 2 actions to get into range. And because he's come into range, it gains a hindrance dice there. End of 1 round of combat. Initiative. So we've got D6 for each of these. Hindrance dice play no part of hindrance initiative. I've lost my D6 here. Oh, got D6. Look at that. I'm rolling good for the Larsons. Typical Games Master. My dice seem to be doing amazing lately. So what's that? 6 plus 3 is 9. So we just put a 9 there. Rastan. Oh, it's got a 4. This is where you could do with a tactician in the group. Rastan's a scrapper, so he gets bonus dice to his attack, which I forgot to use. Typical. Carla's doing well, though. Oh, 9. Also going on 9. Go over there. We want 9. So, this is round 2. No one's dead yet. No one's taken any injury. We've had a bit of a clash here. Carla's up on the wagon over there. It's going to give her a bonus dice. Starting with the highest. So, Carla has a D6 agility. And our Larsons have got a D6 plus 1. So, he goes first. Okay, so he makes his first attack against the Rastan who wants to defend. And so he gains his combat is D8 plus 1. It's quite good for a goon. 5. So that's going to be a 6. So we move that over to a 6 to show that's his total because he's got plus 1. And Rastan gains his defense, which was D6 for the defense stat. I'll show you so you can see how we work this out. D6 for dodge. No bonus dice yet. Oh, yes, no, he's not. No bonus dice. And he gets hindrance dice on the Larson. And there's no other dice. Goons don't get perks. So they're fine. Look at that. Oh, 2d6. That's pretty cool. Let's roll them again. 6. Get rid of that one. So he's got 9. This time Rastan is successful. Because he's using the dodge specialization, he can make 1 space move in any direction. So he's going to try to move towards Carla. the Larson's still got an action left, so he's going to follow up with that action, which prevents him from using like an unarmed soft action to attack. So it was a good move by Rastan there. Oh, what have I doing with Rastan's dice? Okay, 9 is next up is Carla, who is going to they're in their front arc. She is going to activate War Cry. But she's feeling a bit outnumbered here, so she's going to try to attack the one on the right, because he's going quite fast. And then she's hoping then Rastan might be able to come in and help as a team. So Carla's going to attack the one on her right, top right here. And her attack pool will consist of, pressing the right one, D6 plus 1. This is good. She's got +1 to the dice pool. Specialisation in one-handed swords is also D6. Not as good as Rastan. And she is going to... She's got no bonus dice. However, he is hindered. So he gains a D4 for hindrance. And there's no other dice. So she rolls her dice pool. Oh, nice. Get rid of these. We don't want them. We want that 6. 12. 18. Oh! 19, 20, 21, 22. I'll just leave that there. I think he's done for. So I'm going to show you an advanced rule here. His defense is D6 plus 1. I'm going to show you an advanced rule. So he rolls D6 plus 1. 2, 3. So she's beat him by 22. That's amazing. He's got 3. So what's that? 19. So first of all, she gains momentum. She's got 1 momentum part. I haven't got a momentum card here, so that would go on the table, and she can use that to gain bonus dice, give bonus dice to allies, recover some hit points, that sort of thing. Have extra actions, which I might use it for. So she's got 1 momentum at the moment. However, she's beaten him by 19. So we work out what that is in bonus dice to damage. So every time you beat a target, I'm only going to use it for this example because it's an advanced roll bonus dice for damage. The degrees of success between the attack roll and the defense rolls dictates how much bonus dice. So 19, we go to the next dice. So we know that a 12 is a D12. Then we go up to 16 because 12 plus 4 is, because you go into categories. When you go over a D12, hang on, let's get this, show you here. You then go D6, D4, D6, D8 again. So this is 12, that's 16, 17, 18, 19, there we are. 19 falls in that category. So we've got a D12 and a D8 for bonus dice. This is so cool. She's going to absolutely destroy this Larson. However, she's on high ground. So she also gains a level 1 bonus dice for being on high ground. And I just want to use this because I'm going to show you category increases. So for damage first, she gets her stat dice. Then there's no specialization dice. Then we got the bonus dice. She's on high ground, so the D8 gets upgraded to a D10, 1 level. Yes, D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. If you're reading rules, that's how it works. It's all explained, and there's a nice table to make it easy. Then there's other dice, hindrance dice, which she's got 1. And then the weapon dice, which is other dice. It's a sword, so that's a D8. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice in that dice pool. If she doesn't win this, something's wrong. So let's just roll her dice pool. There's loads going on here. So we just want the highest dice, which is 6. That's a really bad roll. So she's going to use her momentum to re-roll her dice pool. There we go. Because you can do that. Uh-oh. That was a really bad move. Because now her dice pool is 5. It's worse off. Terrible roll by me. Typical. Typical roll. So let's have a look at Larson. He's got a defense of... physique of D6. So No armour, no nothing else. She's not hindered. So all he rolls is d6 against that 5. Can do it. 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Therefore, he takes 1 point of damage. And we can see his health here, the red heart, is 1. So he's dead. Defeated. So she screams in his face, brings her sword down. Ah! Bang! Cracks him on the head. 1 dead Larson. So we just get rid of all his stuff. Congratulations, Carla. She's reduced the attack against her. Therefore, she's not outnumbered, which would have given this a Larson soldier an extra bonus dice against her. Right? Also, because she rolled so high, that would have knocked him flying. Again, knockbacks are an advanced rule. We're not going to look into that. Keep it simple. 4 is next, which is Rastan. So it's Rastan's go. Oh, we forgot to turn that at the beginning. Because it's his go, we turn his perk, because it only lasts 3 rounds, and then he has to use another action to get it active again, these combat perks. He's not stunned. He's not used any energy. So what he's going to do is he's going to use a hard action to attack this Larson in front of him first, before he does anything else. So he's not... All he's got is counter-attack open. So, which I forgot to use during combat. So he would have attacked that. Never mind. He attacks this a Larson. The player won't forget that, believe me. Looking on here, he's got D10 for stat, D10 for specialisation. Yep. No bonus dice, but there is a D4 because of Carla's agitator. It's about team synergy, these rolls, and they're always on. In Core RPG, there used to be a perk that you would activate. In Pegasus Engine, they're always on. Right, so that's all he's got. Oh, and he gets a bonus dice of D4 because he's a scrapper, which I forgot last time. There we are, 4 dice. So he's got 9. He's got a 4 there. So let's get rid of these low dice. That 4 might go again. Let's have a look. And we got a 3. No, that's a 7. 9's his highest. Against that D6 plus 1 for the Larson, he's got a 3. So he's beaten him. I'm not going to go into the advanced rules of that. We just want to show you the basic thing. So we're not going to have the bonus dice. I just used it there to show you the category increases. So something you would put in at a later date when you're comfortable with the flow of combat. My players, they're all doing that now. Category increases and that. They're very good at it. So 9 is a success. He would have, against the 3, he would have gained, there was a difference of 6, would have given him a D6 bonus dice. Let's do it. D6 bonus dice. We'll use the advanced rules because it's that easy. So he's got D8 plus 1 for strength. No specializations to help him. He's got a bonus dice. He's got the hindrance dice of a D4. And there should be another D8. Oh, that's a D4. For the axe damage. I think it's D8. Oops. I must consult my book. I could be mistaken between the swords that I'm using on these things. So, check my book. My good old trusty book here. All the weapons that will most likely remain roughly the same. Be 1 or 2 change. It's a D6. I'm glad I changed it. I checked. It's not a D8. It's a D6. For axe. There we go. With weapons, they do piercing and slashing and crushing, depending on the weapon type, which is an advanced rule. And piercing reduces armor values, slashing causes bleed, and crushing reduces the knockback value. But we're not using it. Oh, we've got an 8 here. This is awesome. So get rid of all this low dice. We don't need them. Round the table is a lot quicker because you're just picking them up. Here I've got to deal with tech and my dexterity. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Against his physique, I think this is dead Larson as well. It's D6. So we go. So 13 minus 3 is 10. He would have caused 10 points of damage on that Larson. Had that been against a villain, we should say, let's have a look at Rastan, a villain, and Rastan's got 10 hit points. So he would have been reduced to 0, still in the fight. So he got good survivability. However, Carla has only got 7. That would have put her to -3, which would have been 3 levels of hindrance to all her actions. She can go to -7 before she's defeated. However, this Larson goes, he's dead. Russell's like, in a big rage. He's only used a hard action, so as his soft action, he's going to activate Mighty Blow. And Mighty Blow, when it's at home... Oh, come back. Mighty Blow, when it's at home... Your character winds up to deliver a devastating blow. When my blow is activated, your character gains an additional strength dice as other dice to their next damage roll. Woo, nice. So, strength is D8. Let's bring a D8 over there to show that he gains an extra D8. Oh, I forgot about Carla's quick thinking. I'll use that next. Okay, so he's used all of his actions. Consulting the book, I go to the energy table under the combat area, and characters have got energy which they can use to do. It's page 48, isn't it? That's the weapons table. 28, 38, 38. You can use energy to do a multiple different things. So I want to make a free movement of close range, and that costs 3 energy. Characters can recover some health for 4 energy. They can use it to gain temporary bonus dice, or they can do some free actions and things like that, and hindrance dice. Temporary removal of hindrance dice as well. So he's got 4 energy. I'm going to flip 3 energy just to show how energy works. And now he can make that free movement, switch over to here, engage the side of the Larson. Now they outnumber the Larson. The tables have turned on the Larsons, ambushing the 2 barbarians, the chief and chiefess of Caledon. They're in a bit of trouble. Hasn't gone to plan. Anyway, so Larsons go. So, still hindered because he's in close range of Carla. The Larson has to make his mind up. So he's going to attack Carla because she's just beating up his friend. They're buddies. They're drinking buddies. And he's feeling a bit of rage here. So he's going to attack Carla. So he makes his defense check. And that is D6 plus... combat check, which is D8 plus 1. Why would he make a defense check? Who knows? There is no stun, there's no hindrance, so all he gets is that D8, which I've stolen and put over there. So I need a D8 here. There we go. So there's no specialisation, no bonus dice, hindrance dice, or other dice. He just gets this lonely D8 plus 1, 8. Ah, 16! Carla's in trouble. 17, 18, 9, 20, 21, 22 points he's rolled. I think I'm about to kill Carla, to be honest. So, Carla gets her... I'm just going to make a note of that. So, just call that 22. So, I can do that, look. 22. She gets D8 for defense, plus 1. She's got a block for a shield of D6. Shields work differently to... block works differently to defense, as you're going to see. If she's successful, that is. She's also got a quick thinking bonus dice, which is good, and a hindrance dice from that. Larson, she's got 4 dice, but he's rolled 22. Carla's in a bit of trouble here. She's got to hope one of these dice come up with some multiple rolls. Pooh. 4s, 5s and 1s. Typical. Get rid of the lowest dice. 22 against 5. So we could work out all the bonus dice for that. 22 minus 5 is 17, which is D12, D6. It's a D12 and a D8. Sorry, D12 and a D6. Because if we build this up again to show you, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So there it is. That's how you can work out. You can use your fingers and whatever. So that's the bonus dice this Larson's getting for damage. Let's try and kill Carla off. So what's his strength? Because we've got to have stat dice. Like this. So his strength is D6. So that comes in as the first dice. Let's just delete that D8 there, so don't confuse things. He's got no bonus dice. Oh, yes, he has. He's got bonus dice for that. No specialization. No hindrance yet. And there is, what's it called? A weapon dice needed of D8. But she's no hindered that. So he's rolling 4 dice against hers. And the player would then roll at the same time. So it'd be even quicker than this. Oh, look at that. 10. So that is pretty good roll. Let's get over there. So he's rolled a 10. She could potentially come out okay. So she's failed her block there. So she's probably going to get knocked off of there with advanced rules of knockback. And she would then take falling damage. Pretty good. Or if it's knocked all the way back into a tree, she could impact damage. But never mind. We're not doing that. That's all for like superheroes and things. But it can happen here, as you've just seen. So she's got D6 for physique. Let's look at her character sheet so you can see. So build a defensive damage resistance pool. She's got no specializations. She's got stamina instead of endurance. Then she has got leather armor, so it gives D6. No bonus dice, no hindrance dice. Hindrance dice of the enemy. Still hindered. Can she beat 10? No. 3, 3, 4. Get rid of these 2. They've let her down. 4. She's just taken 6 points of damage. 10 minus 4 here is 6. So she's taken 6 points of damage. Let's put that over there on her character sheet. On a damage area there. Wound tokens, wound cards, whatever you want to use, or just mark it on a character sheet on the current. So I'm just going to put a little dice there. And that's the end of turn 2. Turn 2, we've seen 2 deaths. Player's been severely injured. She's in trouble. And combat carries on. So let's do another round. Let's finish the combat. We've got plenty of time. So, with all my narration over the top, explanations, we're going quite fast. We've nearly done a whole combat. Oh, Carla's go turn. She's got a 10. Let's put that there. Put that on 10. Yeah. The players will be doing this themselves. I'm doing all of their characters, so it's a little bit longer for me. Here we go. So Carla goes first. She also got damage, so she still gets a stun level on her. But, however, lucky for her, she goes first. So she removes a stun. We'll just bung that down there. She turns her perks. Yeah. So she needs to use that war cry. And she recovers 1 energy, which she hasn't used. So, I think it's time to use some energy. So going back to page 38 of the core. Ignore these page numbers because they're not going to affect you if you are using Pegasus engine. So, you can spend 4 energy to recover 1 health point. She's going to do that. Come on, let's just do it. Flip, 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 flip. And she recovers 1 health. So she's only taken 5. So, what is she going to do? She is royally pissed. So she's going to strike out at this Larson with an attack roll. She's going to try it. No, she's going to do a war cry. She's going to scream in his face. Ah! So, Warcry allows her to do a cone effect intimidation roll. However, it's only her. Only one target. She should have done that last turn, would have been able to get 2. So she's got physique. Intimidation on the character sheet is, you can see, is physique based. So she gets a physique dice, D6, D6 for the intimidate. No bonus dice because it's not an attack. Does get a D4 for the hindrance. It's against his mind roll. If you look in the book, that's what it tells you. Oh, got 4 there. 7. Nice one. The Larson's mind should be D4. It's only basic. So 7 v. Oh, 4. Oh, there's the Larson's on fire. Oh, 5. So here's the success. So he takes 1 level of hindrance from the fear. Where's our hindrance dice? So that goes up from our D6. D4 to D6, so it's increased in size. Let's just shrink that down so it doesn't take up all that thing. It would go over his card, or you put a little token on there, or put it on his character sheet. So that's not bad. And then there's a attack roll, a hard action. She's going to make an attack roll. So her combat, bring her character sheet on again. D6 plus 1. She's got swords at D6. She gets a bonus dice because Rastan is in the threat zone of the target, and there's no other targets in Rastan's threat zone. So it gives a bonus dice. Also gets a D6 hindrance dice from the enemy. Oh, this is looking better for Carla. The enemy shouldn't have attacked her. Oh, what have I done? What a roll. 2's the highest. Should have saved that momentum. Now notice that the goon doesn't get momentum, because goons don't get it. If he was a villain, he would have got the momentum from the 22. Right, her roll is 2. He gets D6 plus 1. Yep, D6 plus 1 for his defense. 4. So she strikes out, he defends. But he hasn't got any specializations like parry, block, or dodge, so he can't move around the battlefield. The block allows you to push them back or step back. Dodge allows you to go to any square. Parry allows you to go around them into their flanks. Okay, so Rastan's next. Turns his card. Recovers a energy. And he recovers 1 stun. Now what is he going to do? He's going to activate soft action, dual weapon fighting. And this, your character is skilled in the art of fighting with 2 weapons at once. When they are armed with 2 weapons, activate this perk to harass the enemy. Gain an additional combat dice to attack, and an additional strength dice to damage. Additional defense dice to defense for the duration of the perk. These are considered other dice. So this is brilliant. A character with the dual weapon fighting has no flanks. So he can't be flanked whilst this is activated. So he students like swings of death with his double axes. So he gains an extra combat dice. That's really cool. He's already got a D10 for combat. He's got a D10 for the specialization of his edged weapon. Now got a D10 other dice because he's got the perk activated. He's got a bonus dice of Carla next to him. The guy's hindered, and there's our 5 categories. So he has 5 dice. No upgrades there. Picks up all the dice, rolls them all. Another rubbish roll by me. 6 is the highest. Gets to do another explode there. 9. So we've got 9. Against your Larson's D6 plus 1 is 6. So he's beating him by 3. Gets him a D4 bonus dice to damage. Easy as that. Goes at 3 and 4 D4, 5 and 6 D6. You round up. 1 and 2 is 0. There's nothing. There's no D2. You round up to newest dice. So he's got a D4 for bonus dice. So damage is strength based, which he's got D8 plus 1. He's got no specialization for that. Carla is still in there, so this D4 gets upgraded by 1 level because she's providing the bonus dice. hindrance dice of D6 on the enemy, and he's using an axe, which he said was a D6 because we looked it up. 4 dice. I think this is going to be a dead Larson. 8. Oh, it's his turn. 16. Oh, it's a dead Larson. There's no way I can beat that. 16. That's 20. The Larson gets physique of D6. Not an elite warrior. 5. 15 is hit points done to this Larson. Dead. Goes flying back. And Rassan gains 1 momentum, which he notes on his character sheet. He can, if you look on his character card here, he's got a D4 in focus. That's level 1, which means he can carry 1 momentum from scene to scene. So now the combat scene's over, they gain a character development point each because they survived. Had they role played during it, so Rassan's shouting, "Don't worry, Carla, I've got your back. Hurry, Carla, Rassan, I need your help," and things like that. That was my Carla voice. They would have got an extra character development point for interacting within the story scene, which they can use to increase these dice. That is combat basically done. Boom. Quick, easy. All that explanation going on, that would have been over in about 10-15 minutes if players know what they're doing. Probably this long as you're all checking it out for your first time. 48 minutes. Done. And they go onto the scene. They then move on to investigate the scene to see what's happened. Where are these Larsons come from? Why have they set them up? Where are they based? Who knows? Depends on your adventure. So, thank you very much for joining me on this combat example. And next one I will work on is character creation, how to create a character, and also examples of powers and things like that. Thank you very much.